There has always been controversy around photography in the world of art, and that's not occasionally, that's always. So what is happening today with AI image generation is honestly, it's nothing new. It's nothing new at all. Allow me to explain, but first, here's just a little bit about me and my background so you know where I'm coming from. I've been an artist and have been studying art history in just about every genre. Painting, drawing, sculpting, printmaking, photography, digital art, you name it, I've done it. And I also received my Bachelor's of Fine Arts degree in printmaking in 2006 with what I call a self-declared minor in sculpture. I was just several credits shy of a minor. I don't want to go and give you the laundry list of artistic exploits that I've been through, but I will say I've been an artist for nearly 33 years and have enthusiastically studied art history along the way. So, here we go, an art history lesson that includes AI in the discussion. When photography first emerged in the 1800s, painters didn't see it as art. They saw it as mechanical, soulless, too easy. You've got this machine that copies reality without any imagination or any skill. Painting, as they argued, required interpretation, intention, this human touch. But photography? Just the click of a button, okay? That criticism should start to sound familiar here, but we'll keep going. Photographers spent decades fighting to be taken seriously as artists, and honestly, they really didn't do it by leaning harder into the realism of photography. They actually did the opposite. Early photographers manipulated focus and how the light entered their lens, and possibly even some clever darkroom techniques to make their images feel more painterly. These are known as the pictorialists, and they were active from about 1885 until the early 1920s, and they were actually trying to prove that it could carry emotion and interpretation and vision. So photography started to earn its place as art, and not because it was a wildly accurate representation of the subject they were photographing, but because it was becoming more expressive to those subjects. And then something really interesting happened. At the start of the 20th century, the fight shifted a little bit, but away from painters and towards photographers. In February 1900, Kodak created the Brownie camera. I have a version of it right here. The threat was no longer against painters, it was against photographers. So when Kodak released this Brownie camera, photography stopped being exclusive to just photographers, and suddenly the everyday families could afford a camera. No darkroom, no training, no mastery, just point, shoot, click. And there's your memory, right? Well, professional photographers were actually pretty furious about this. And this same argument came out again, but not the painters towards photographers, but photographers towards access. It's too easy now. Anyone can do this. This cheapens the craft. But the Brownie really didn't destroy professional photography. It did something really more important. It forced those professionals to evolve. Wink, wink, okay? Casual photography became common. In the case of photography, the tool was no longer defining them as an artist, their vision was. And the best photographers rose above all this noise and all the controversy that was around it. In essence, the access to photography didn't kill photography, it forced it to become more refined. Fast forward to the early 2000s, I'm skipping a lot here, but this is where the crux comes. The cycle repeated again. Digital photography arrived, and analog photographers pushed back really hard. I was one of them. Digital photography was called fake, too easy. Here we go again. The cycle repeats. At this time, Photoshop was seen as cheating, and in some cases it still is today. Film had all the soul, and digital had nothing. And yet today, digital photography is fully accepted as a legitimate art form. And this is not because the argument's resolved, but because the practice evolved. The world moved on, and once again, photography was forced into refinement for deeper meaning above the digital era. Now here we are again. Are you noticing a trend yet? AI has entered the picture, AI image generation, and the same fear is back. But this time it's inside photography itself. Photographers are now standing where painters once stood, worried that a machine that creates something out of nothing is getting too close to something that they love. Now that the tool is becoming more powerful, that line between craft and automation is being erased. Photographers are feeling threatened, and at the same time, something ironic is starting to happen. As AI images become more photographic, many of these high-end fine art photographers are pushing their work away from hyper-realism and more toward a painterly, abstract, or even expressive style. This isn't necessarily hypocrisy, it's history repeating itself just like the pictorialists did in the early 1900s. Artists can't really compete with new tools by becoming more literal or even more realistic, because the machine arguably will always win. They compete by becoming more human and more authentic. This is where the algorithm enters this entire conversation, because the algorithm that shares our art, it doesn't care about history. It doesn't care about any of this process. It cares about the reaction and the reaction only. And AI-generated images often are optimized for that instant impact and designed to keep you scrolling. Human-made images, especially those rooted in experience, tend to invite something different. They invite reflection, return visits, emotional participation. The algorithm may reward that spectacle of AI-generated images. The viewer, on the other hand, they often reward authenticity. And that's the tension that I think we're feeling today, to elaborate on that other video. This is not just AI versus photography, but AI, authenticity, and the algorithm all pulling in different directions. And here's really what I think is the pattern that matters the most. Every major shift in art follows the same exact arc. Are you ready for this? A new tool appears. The previous generation calls it inauthentic. Artists adapt by redefining their role and their place. The tool then becomes normalized, and the argument moves on to the next possible disruption in the art world. If you're wondering where we are in this, you are here. So let's land this plane here. Painting did not disappear when photography arrived. We still have brilliant painters today. Professional photography didn't disappear when the Brownie arrived. We still have beautiful representations of subjects around us from professional photographers. Film didn't disappear when digital arrived. There are still people that are taking film today, and there's a resurgence to go back to that. And here's the deal, guys. Photography won't disappear because of artificial intelligence. What disappears every single time is exclusivity. When access expands, the value has to shift and more towards intention, experience, the experience you're delivering to your viewer, and your voice within the piece. I want you to listen to this part very closely and identify who you are, because it may dictate your future as an artist, photographer, or even an artist photographer. Here you go. The artists who struggle are usually those ones defending themselves in the place of a new tool or new movement. And the artists that thrive are the ones that are redefining their identity when this new tool comes out. So AI doesn't replace professionals any more than the Brownie did. It replaces, I guess, the gatekeeping of knowledge, if anything. And when that gatekeeping disappears, the only thing that matters at the very end of this is going to be authenticity. It's going to be that cream that rises to the top when all the dust settles here. Really kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? What will this next disruption be? And will you still be creating art when it happens? And I'll leave that up for you to decide.